Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, all is good.
Hello, everyone. Hello and thank you for inviting us. We have with us this afternoon two co-founders of Ultraspecialisti company, Vanessa and Antonio, who will tell us something about their company. They are operating in a telemedicine industry, and I think it would be nice to start with Vanessa. So, yes, do you want to introduce yourself and ask the first question? How did you become entrepreneur? What inspired you to create the company?
Good afternoon to everybody. I'm Vanessa Gregorz. I'm a medical oncologist. I'm a scientist, researcher, and the professor at University San Raffaele. I'm operating in a clinical practice every day, and I didn't want to become an entrepreneur at all.
It was a tricky question.
Exactly. I observed that there is something that is not functioning in everyday activity with the patient, and I have decided to find a solution for myself and my patients. And then I have realized that it's something too big for one person. And this is the reason why we started to create a company. So the point was linked to the fact that patients need to be cured well, to be diagnosed well. And in today medicine, there is a vertical knowledge. So we need to contact very highly specialized medical doctors to help patients with a very complex illness. So it is very difficult to identify that kind of doctors, and it's very difficult for the patients to identify them and to contact them and to interact with them. And if this happens physically, sometimes I have realized, many times I have realized that patients came from very far away, in Italy, from Sardinia, from Sicily, without any proper documentation. So they paid a lot for traveling, they came with their caregivers, and then I have realized that they have not all documents I need to give them medical advice. So they had to come back home, paid once again, their travel and come once again. And I have realized that this is a problem for them. And I thought that with the proper organization, technology, we can find a solution.
I think we can show some data from Italian market regarding the people who are traveling in research for the best healthcare. Can we just get to the slide number 2? Yes, we have some technical problems here. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So, and then I have started to study, and I have realized that it's not only my problem and problem of my patients. I have realized that 750,000 people in Italy travel to obtain better medical treatment, and more, even more of that number of patients have to travel to obtain medical consultations. And the reason why this happens, because there are different, very big discrepancy between different areas for the diagnosis and treatment in Italy, and not only in Italy. This is a global problem. So the discrepancies in medical diagnostics and medical care are in Europe, but also out of the Europe. So it's a global problem. So it is and the treatment possibilities are very huge, but it is important to have a right information. And so to get the right information for the treatment, you have to get the right specialist, and you have to talk with the highly specialized person, which means experts. And that's one of the problems. So how to identify that patients, how to get the specialist, how to get in touch with the specialist. And then after this, then you have to travel then you have to pay for all that, and then obviously you sometimes you are not enabled to travel, because if you are suffering for a severe disease, you might not be able to travel. So sometimes happens that you are not able to obtain any medical consultation. So this is the photo of what is happening today.
Yes, before presenting Antonio, just one small question. You're meeting patients every day. How do you think your platform can help them?
So the platform can help them because, first of all, there is an algorithm that helps patients and caregivers, which means brothers, sisters, friends, cousins, to help patients through this to our algorithm to identify the best proper doctor for their disease. After identifying the best expert, then they can give them anamnesis, so give them all the clinical data, submit all documentations they have, and obtain the medical opinion without traveling, so staying at home. They may use their personal computer. They need only to be connected, or what we usually do every day. So they don't need any special center, any special technology that we don't have. It's very easy for the patient. And after this consultation, patient may also come and visit the doctor if it is necessary. Sometimes it's not necessary because they can receive treatments close to the house, for example, or they may remain in contact.
Thank you. Antonio, can we take another next slide? It seems like a really very good solution, especially for the person who are far away and cannot carry about the patients in first person. So what I was wondering is why it's not widespread yet. What is a real obstacle of a telemedicine solution, and what is going on nowadays? Why the telemedicine is really needed as a solution from the doctor point of view?
Yes. Before, just 2 words about me. I'm Antonio Sammarco, co-founder of Ultraspecialisti startup. My previous experience was in a multinational company in B2B and B2C sectors as a sales and marketing manager. This is a great project I'm working for now, and I discovered that the main issue for our project is the trust and the reputation, because we are a startup. We have not a brand now. In the future, I hope, of course, we become a big company with a strong brand. But for people today, is important to obtain the right reputation and use this kind of tool, as usually we day by day use e-commerce for buy everything, from vacation to shoes or foods, or what you prefer to buy just by a click. We are in effect in e-commerce, but we are speaking about health and the big issue for patients and their family. So this is the main issue, and we are working for obtain the trust. Generally speaking, people use digital tool, but the common tool are not comfortable in terms of privacy, in terms of data protection and right information doctors need before give to patients their opinion. So WhatsApp, Messenger, Facebook, or also email are not protected and are not appropriate for doctor analysis and opinion finally. So we can say our platform is another things, speaking, comparing with the Messenger or something like this.
In fact, on the slide, you can see these are my patients before having a platform. They were sending me communications through WhatsApp, Facebook, Messenger. It was becoming really unsustainable. Because of the data protection, I was exposed. I was not able to answer them, and I was frustrated while not answering them. Moreover, another level of problem was that I didn't get documentation in a proper way. And if you don't receive the documentation in a proper way, you increase the level of mistakes. And we are talking about the health. We are not talking about wrong number of the shoe that you can change. Okay, so you have to pay attention in health, especially on data protection and a proper documentation. So that is absolutely not possible to be the future. So the future is getting appropriate platforms for the connections for specific diseases or specific conditions. Moreover, I want you to think about the future and to think about the hospitals as a buildings. In these buildings, we are going to have a lot of services that are going to be in-out resources.
Something like a virtual hospital.
Exactly. Okay. So the hospitals are going not anymore to be everything that we are used to see them. Maybe in the same hospital you will find one ward directed by one company, in another ward directed by another company, and these are going to be in outsourced conditions. And a lot of things are going to be moved from the hospitals to the territory. So the future is to delegate everything what is possible directly to the patient's house.
Okay, let's take a look on the solution. Antonio, do you want to describe us very quickly the 4 main parts, the 4 main pillars of your platform? Why are you special?
At the beginning, I would like to clarify that the technology part is not the main part or the most important one. I think our innovation system is based on process because as we talked about before, the patient need to find something comfortable and the right solution in quickly, in few time, no? So we discover in the beginning of our process the patient's needs and medical needs both. So first of all, we can say the main asset is the community of experts. Then the algorithm that led to patients to discover the expert very quickly. The anamnesis, the questionnaire, I mean. And then we have the technology system that is able to transfer every kind of clinical data, including also the imagings, so file DICOM, and at the end, the medical opinion. So take care when we speak about the telemedicine. The technology is very important, but is not alone. The other things, and we include also the help desk, the customer care is very important. So the human side is also very, very strategic for supporting both sides, medical and patients.
Yes, it's very important point that you touched is that the technology is actually the enabler of this kind of services. And so,
and also because we are in not a high technology expert in front of us, but managers.
Managers, exactly. So they
No?
can ask themselves what they are talking about. I'm not an IT
yes, I'm not an IT
That's a
manager.
very, very,
In fact,
very important point, no?
In fact, IT manager is not so important for. It's important, but is we are creating new processes. We are creating new way of directing patient journey. So that's it's very important how to plan it, how to imagine it, how to interact with existing models, how to modulate existing models.
Yes, it's important also from another point of view. Sometimes they ask you, what about data protection? What about not only the data protection, about the intellectual property? How you deal with the intellectual property? And your answer is, well, the technology is an enabler of my idea, of my project. The most important things is actually the human touch in this digital world, no, which is made of community of
doctors. So there are a lot of factors, a lot of parts.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we are talking about the connections between the patients at home and the vertical experts in the hospitals, in different hospitals, not in one hospital, in different countries also. So, giving you an example, if somebody has a cold and goes to the general practitioner, and general practitioner provides him chest X-ray, and we identify that that patient is having tumor, lung tumor, and this patient is living in a place where there is no highly specialistic hospitals, then the general practitioner sometimes don't know what to suggest to this patient. Obviously, if this patient come to our platform, he has to identify the specialist. So he has something on the lung. He's going to, and we have a suspicion of cancer. So they can enter into the platform and identify the oncology area, and inside of oncology, he may find the lung specialist, and he may send all documentation, and lung specialist is going to give him an advice that may be seen by the general practitioner. So that means that we are going to find the vertical expert, which has at least 10 years of clinical activity in the multidisciplinary teams, and specifically is following exactly the specific disease, or not more than 2 or 3 diseases, because if you are an oncologist, you are not able to cure colon cancer and breast cancer in the same way. Okay, so the first thing is that we have a community of ultra specialists, and we are building this community. And from the other side, why we need these experts? We need them because they can use the technology, because they have that type of knowledge that they don't, with the very few information, they can suggest how what to do next. And the benefits for the patients are going to be huge, as we are going to discuss it later.
Yes, in fact, it's very important to perceive the importance. So you started from oncology, probably because you have a very straight, narrow timeline. So you have to act. What happens if you're not living in Milan, but you're living in some small cities far away from the main center where a lot of hospitals are? And so you will find one oncologist, and you have a type of the cancer, you have to act very quickly, and that oncologist maybe is not the specific one. So since
we call them pan-tumoral.
Okay.
That means that they are not ultra specialized. So that kind of doctors. While inside of our solution, we search for a very specific expert.
So you choose to make the platform with those specific experts who can empower the patient and give him the right information, even if he is very distant from the main hospital, correct?
Exactly. This is the main need of the patient. And the other need of the patient is that if they have a doubt, for example, they have to choose between two therapies, then still, once again, you need an expert that may explain patients the differences between these two solutions, for example. Moreover, usually these type of experts are also engaged in clinical trials. Today, the clinical trials are also a possibility for the patients to receive therapies. Why I'm saying that? Because once FDA approves one drug that has been studied for 5 years, for example, there is a delay from that approval to Italy or to other countries. There is a delay between when the FDA approved the drug, for example, until this drug came into Italy or other countries, that may be from 2 to 3 years. And one doctor is not going to tell you that there is opportunity if he is not able to prescribe. But I think that patients have the right to be informed for their possibility of diagnosis and cure. And based on this information, they can act. So you are right. We are empowering patients.
And you have a lot of experts, very good selected from national fame and international fame. I mean, even European experts. How do you select them? What is the process of the selection?
So we have the established criteria. Probably we have the, no. So this, okay. No, torna dentro. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We have established the criteria. Usually when we are talking about an expert, we usually are talking about how much the person is publishing. But we don't need the person who is publishing but is not curing the patient. We need that person that is publishing. That means that he is studying. It's always updated. And it's also curing the patients. In the majority of the cases, this type of experts are those who do also research. Moreover, we need those experts who are able to act for the patients. So we need these specialists who are part of the multidisciplinary teams. That means that they can discuss this case with other specialists, such as radiologists, anatomopathologists, cardiologists, neurologists. So when they are already inside of the important decisional networking. So all these characteristics we have to objectivize from the CV. And there is a board that is going to control if this specialists have all these skills.
Okay, let's see how the model is functioning. Yes, here. What makes your model scalable? We said we have. We have different parts of our model. So we have a criteria selection, and we have experts, we have patient, and then we have a physician or his medical doctor. Then we have experts. We can have other players around us. What do you make to engage all of them, and how all those pieces communicate together?
So first of all, we thought we were very influenced by a digital history of different companies, and we thought that we can communicate and have a lot of patients only through advertising through internet. And then we have realized that that is not the right way, because we need the trust, and trust is not only online, it's offline also. So we have to create, we have to act on the cultural growing of the different players in the way to grow. So one of the important players are general practitioners, because they are, for example, in Italy, but also this is very similar in other countries, about 40,000 general practitioners. And they are really those who need help for their patients. So they may give us the possibility to reach the maximum number of the patients we have, for example, in Italy. Other thing is that what we can do is we can develop the collaborations, for example, with the pharma companies to improve the treatment of some specific diseases using the telemedicine and our platform. For example, there are some rare diseases. In these rare diseases, there are doctors who will see just 1 or 2 cases per year. But if we engage them to be part of our web community, they can learn from other doctors very quickly. And so they are going to experience not only 1 or 2 patients per year, but 20, 40 patients per year. So they are going to even grow from intellectual point of view. And moreover, they are going to share possibilities for the patients to obtain the treatment. So these are projects with the pharma company.
And I would also say that there are 2 points of view: patients' points of view in terms of scalable model, but also experts' point of view. It means everybody usually look at the patient's point of view, but this is an instrument for doctors, for experts. So if each of them after a period of understanding and use, probably we keep more and more users, because each of experts needs to be confident with this new tool, but not only tool, is also a new kind of new way of job for them, no? So this is very important for us because it's not so quickly.
So other thing is obviously that we were talking first of all about oncology, but we can, the point is that we can scale other areas, and we are scaling other areas of medicine. And moreover, so we can work with the pharma companies, we can work with the societies that are in, and they are helping the clinical trials, so to increase the number of the patients that may enter clinical trials, because they don't have to travel, they can send their documentations and we can see if they are they can enter in the trial. So also general practitioners, and also obviously with the communication with the patient. But communication is not advertising that we have this solution. Communication means information, education about the fact that that today for every specific disease we need a specific expert, and we are doing this, creating different web sites that specifically talk and specifically explore different diseases. And these websites are driven by this type of specialists, very verticalized, very important, very qualified experts that we call ultraspecialisti. Moreover, as I told you about that, this model is only scalable, also scalable out of Italy, because also in other countries there is the similar need. What may be the very, very long future is that at the end we are going to have global experts that may help patients even from other countries. We have already experienced that. We have helped patients from Australia, from Albania, from Romania, from Croatia, from Holland. We helped the patients from Italy, patient that was in Spain, and we find the patient in Spain the best expert. So these are just examples. While in the meantime, while we were doing validation of the process, so of the platform and of process of the functioning, we have experienced immediately that the patients maybe help also out of the countries. Moreover, there are big discrepancies in the health, I told you, in Europe, between the Western Europe and Eastern Europe. And information is a part of patient journey. Empowerment of the patient is fundamental for receiving the best diagnosis and treatment. And you don't have time. You don't have time in some diseases. You have really to be quick.
Yes, why are we speaking about scalability? Because all those pieces you have already tested, no? You have find a way how to select the right experts, so to gain the trust somehow of those people who are going to ask the first or second opinion, or an opinion, every kind of opinion, yes. Then you tested that the general practitioner have the benefits to get to that site in order to short the period and give more possibility to the patient for the treatment, and probably to have the better possibility and probability of surviving or some better cure after. And then we have also the information sites, which is be sure of the source of the information. So like be the guarantee of the source of information. And you tested it with the lung cancer, no?
Yes,
the website.
We have tested with the lung cancer, which when we started with this site, it was 2017. In 2017, we reached 7,000 patients to be connected with our website for the education. In 2018, there are 38,000 new patients. So it's a demonstration of how much need is there for the patients to be empowered.
Well, on the next slide, we have actually the value chain. So the patient, the caregiver, and the ultra-specialist, and what are the benefits that they can gain from the platform. And we have also hospital. We don't speak about hospitals yet.
Exactly. Interestingly, we were talking about the health without hospitals until now for a very long time. In fact, also hospitals are important part. So for those patients who may not be cured in their places of where they live, they can obviously be received by the hospitals where this vertical expert work. But moreover, if you look all this process with the eyes of the hospital, so from their side, usually what is happening, patients are coming physically in the hospital, or caregivers are going to the hospitals with the documentations to have an idea of how to receive the diagnosis and cure. And a lot of times happens in about 45–50% of the cases that this arrival was completely unnecessary. And it is not only unnecessary from patient's point of view, time lost, economical points, suffering, and so on also, but also from the hospital point of view. Hospital is the most vertical expert site. When you cannot cure the flu, you cure the complication of the flu. You don't cure simple things that may be cured outside. You have to, the hospitals, and this is what it is, where we are going to be more and more specialized. So it's loss of time and place, because already now is the question is also for the place. I am not able to reach other patients because I don't have place where to visit them.
Because they have a limited places. No?
Limited places. You need a room for visiting the patient. Okay. While if you are having a pre-visit, the triage, this type of triage of chronic patients, you can do it, or follow up, you can do it remotely. So you need, so in this way, hospitals may optimize their time, place, and specialists.
Probably with the new technologies, we will have even more possibilities to give an opinion only on the analysis of the
Absolutely. For
the
example,
reports.
Ultraspecialisti is specifically localized in a very highly experts area, while the telemedicine is going to help also other more simplest questions like chronic diabetes or blood pressure. So patients are not going to come to the hospital for these things. They are being monitored from their home. But this is something else. This is not teleconsultation. This is that is telemonitoring.
And now a very interesting issue for managers and future managers. So how are we going to make money with this kind of services? How we are making money with this kind of services? So we have a B2C model and we have a B2B. Do you want to explain us how do you convert these services into money, into euros or dollars or whatever?
Yeah. Of course, we have a payment service, and I have to explain you that in web you can find a lot of kind of solution, also not with payment, free of charge, no? Like blog, like forum, like something like this, when generic medical doctors explain something to patients or to curious people that need kind of generic information, we can say this is free of charge, of course, but we are in another kind of service, and of course our service is not free of charge. And another point is how does it cost, no? How much does it cost is not so. If you see our price today is just one price for every kind of doctors and specialization or areas. So is 240 euros. At this amount include the doctor's part, doctor's fee, and the other part is for our service. To maintain the platform, to maintain the privacy, the cloud, the customer service cost. You can imagine our structure, no? And for us, it's important also to maintain a high quality, high level of service. And it's difficult to explain to people because of, generally speaking, in e-commerce, you should find the low price solution, no? And we are in another areas, other market, we can say, not for generic products or standard products, but we are in the service area, and this service is health. So when we speak about our price, it's important also to understand every issue we have, every solution. In the future, we want also to offer different kind of service and, of course, different prices level, you know. Speaking about B2B is completely different because it's another world, another kind of approach and partner. We are speaking about industrial or commercial partner. We are speaking about pharma companies, so multinational company, or hospital or insurance companies, or something like this. So we build the agreement case by case, and the solution could be not the same. Usually we try to find a tailor-made solution. You can say tailor-made solution because it depends of a kind of partner we have in front of us and the potential of the business, the period. If we start with a short period trial or pilot, we can also offer a free of charge. For example, for an insurance, we can say, okay, try our platform for 6 months, and if it is okay, we can speak about the money or business, no? So completely different when we speak about B2B.
Okay, well, let's.
If you want Olga to say something about this.
About B2B and B2C. Well, yes, a lot of tailor-made solutions, maybe especially in a pharma project, and also towards hospitals. Why? Because drugs or pharma projects in general have a very strong innovation component. So it's a kind of our getting close to them and adaptation. We adapt to their dynamics. And so we became a part of this innovative solution for clinical trials, because every clinical trial is something different, is in different area, engage different kind of patient, expect different kind of results. For hospital is because you have a really different structure, different centers. Big one that needs to be need more efficiency, so they will use a platform to get a virtual triage or things like this. Or you have a small hospital that needs like an expertise of the ultra specialist that we have on our platform. So we'll ask the access in order to offer to their patient the possibility to get the treatment on the distance.
May I say this from medical point of view, and then
yes.
we go to the.
Do you want the next slide?
I'm
so
not
why ultra specialisti?
No, why ultra? No. I want the forest.
Okay, you want to add something?
Yes.
The next one, or
no, before.
Before? Okay,
before.
this
so
one.
B2C is I'm desperate. I really need help. I will pay for my grandmother. I will pay for my mother. I will pay for my sister because we are in trouble from medical point of view. While B2B is another solution. We are trying to work a lot on B2B because we want somebody else to pay for that. Because if you are not having the right solution, and then might be it's not your fault. It's not your fault for that. It's not probably right that you have to pay. Even if it's okay, if you really need a second opinion, but if you are really desperate, probably it's not the most ethical way. I'm speaking as a medical doctor. So the B2B is important because may enlarge the possibility to a huger number of the patients to be connected with the community of experts. And I will explain you another thing. In B2B, we are talking about the hospitals and pharma companies. There is money. They have money. And they have to invest their money in services. And these services are important for the patients. So we have already done some experience with the pharma. For example, why they can be useful for the patients. Because if the system is not settled in the way that the patients may receive the drug or treatment, there is already here in Italy, because of the problems that patients may not be connected with those people who know how to administer this drug or how to give the treatment, then it's important that they invest in services that they are going to allow these patients to receive these treatments. So this is from medical point of view.
Okay. Can you explain us?
Yes. So if we are now we are talking about B2C model and yes. Which are our competitors. So if you have a flu and your general and you are far away from your home and from your general practitioner, probably Ultraspecialisti is not the best choice for you. You can find some other solutions, asking some other companies to book you the visit. with the nearest doctor. Okay. But if you need if you are facing with important disease and you need a high specialty, then there are no other competitors. So it depends on what you need, how many competitors we have. So for booking the visits, there are a lot of competitors. For having ultra specialty experts, they are not. We don't have competitors. From other point of view is, do they have certified medical device for document management, which is less important for B2C, because if I'm desperate, I don't care about the GDPR. I will send you WhatsApp. I will contact you by Facebook. Who cares about the privacy? But if I'm a hospital or I'm a pharma company, I have to care about that. So I think that I have explained this. I don't know, from my point of view.
Here, yes, this is actually the
same concept.
Yes. Is the dimension of the bubble is actually the importance and the number of the cases they are dealing with. So it's from free to pay, and is from online medical consultation, booking medical visits, or just an information. So just a Q&A, and sometimes even not interactive.
Of course, we are speaking about Italian market. No?
Yes, we are talking about
just to speak about one global.
Yes, this was analysis of Italian market, correct.
Global player. We can introduce you a name, a company name is the Best Doctors, comes from USA. It could be interesting for you to discover something in website and keep information from them.
And also we had a great possibility working with X-Culture to have an evaluation of our global competitors last year. So if you want, we can submit you and offer you the document that has been produced of your colleagues, which were extraordinary.
Extraordinary, yes. This year they're going to be even better.
Even better, I hope.
Yes.
It's a new challenge. New challenge.
Yes. And yes, a few words about Italian market. We said yes, and then after we have it. So we said 750,000 people who are moving from one region to another. This is always number of Italian market. We did a survey, but there's also a lot of publication that said more or less 50% of population consider a web as a useful tool to get or to request the medical opinion. And so 172K is there are people. So we have Italy is very long, no more than 1,000 kilometers. So we have 172K people who are living 400 kilometers far away from the hospital where they are going to be treated, or where they are treating at the moment. Okay.
And the last year, also from the document, we have obtained a great information about the other countries where might be of interest to introduce the same process because they are in the same or similar conditions as Italy. So,
okay, do you want to name it, or
Hungary, Lithuania, all the Eastern
European countries.
Eastern European countries were the mainly of interest. Some Nordic, but in the northern part of Europe, this is already more. The cultural problem has already been bypassed. So now they are using more. But Eastern Europe and Central Europe and Southern Europe are really in trouble.
But there are some more countries also out of the Europe that we
Europe.
decide to include this year in a challenge.
Yes, exactly. So India was one of the
Yes,
of
India.
interest. Some parts of China.
Okay, then Saudi Arabia, Russia.
and Russia.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So here is a team. A few person is quite a lot, quite a big team now.
It's growing.
Yes, and it's growing.
Stefano is now seeing more and more people on the slide. It's a bigger,
Every year
bigger.
The slide is more populated.
and we need even more and more.
Yes, my photo is missing.
And your photo is missing. Olga is with us. New entry.
Yes. Marco also, yes.
Marco.
We have
Marco. Marco is outside.
Yes.
Okay.
Is
Marco is already in operations.
Yes, he was stuck on one very precise project, on one pharma project, and he did a great work. So
we can say.
Yes. Okay, we have
just
last point. This is something that is going to make a circle, so to connect all the dots that we designed during the presentation, which is a patient's story. So this is a real story. It's a story of one opinion asked to maybe
yes,
direct to you. Do you want to tell us?
I have received I have received different requests from Italy, but this is, I think, from my point of view, the most specific one, because we were talking about the one Indian guy living in Canada who contacted me through LinkedIn and asked me how I can help his mother in India. And I suggested him to use the platform, and he sent me the documentation. In this documentation was written that his mother has to start chemotherapy in a few days. And I stopped him. I said, it's a wrong decision. So please do follow my suggestion. And I suggested the broad molecular profiling, which is already done with the different pharma products, but also in an academic level. And he was lucky. My consultation was free of charge because I understood the very critical conditions they were. And so he asked help in India from his friends, that he obtained to do a broad molecular profiling using the Foundation One box, which was given for free. And in 10 days, while he was writing me every day, because she was worsening every day, we obtained the information that she has to receive one biological therapy and not chemotherapy. So in that case, I was a good doctor. But not only that, the patient received that drug, and she really get a great response. And now she's in complete remission, and we are following her. Since we started the history study in August, I think, and we are still in touch. I have never met this guy, and I never met the woman. But we are connected.
And this is possible. Now those things are possible.
And this was possible because we have a platform, and we have a customer service that supported the Indian guy and the Indian woman to be connected with us.
You can find this history in our Facebook page. So if you want to check.
Even on the website.
And also in website, yes. Because we have also social network story.
We have one more slide about results and achievements, and then we can ask if there are some questions. So, results and goals. Do you want to give us just a quick overview, Antonio?
Yes, of course. We started in 2016 with a beta test platform, and we allowed to every people use the platform free of charge, just for validation. So we till now we achieve more than 1,000 people as a user. Yes, yes, yes. Of course, when we started with the payment system, we obtain 2, 3, maximum 5 consultation per month. So it's a low figures, but it's very important to let people to be confident with these instruments, and also for doctors, not forget the doctor side, because it's very important. It's very, very, very strategic for us to see the doctors' culture, doctors' approach, and push them to use the platform and not WhatsApp or other.
I want to add this, that I understand for you these numbers are low, but these are not numbers. These are not fruits. These are people, very ill people that have decided to ask the consultation to the doctors they never met. So this is important. This is proof of principle. Obviously, we have to work on trust. We have to work on education. We have to create a brand. But this is a proof of principle.
Yes, the good news is that we are growing now.
Yes.
More than 20% month to month, but
yes.
It's still slow.
It's still slow in terms of marketing, no, and business. And we have also to explain to you that we don't spend money in marketing till now. Just some tests, we can say. So we don't have any launch in terms of marketing. You know, we are waiting for the right position and the right moment, we can say, to have an official launch in terms of marketing.
And we're really very glad to get some feedbacks on this site also. Your feedbacks for those who are going to take this challenge, even on the patient journey, our website, user experience, or whatever. So this is something we are working on and trying to improve. So I will thank you in advance to all of you who are going to consider Ultraspecialisti as the final work.
Just because we are a new process, a new solution, innovative one. So when we met, for example, some marketing agencies, we can try to set a campaign, a launch, but we received not very successful results, because the marketing agency are unfortunately based on copy and paste.
Yes, there was no experience. There is no experience in this area, so they really copy and paste solutions that are completely far away from health. So nobody was talking about the trust.
Could be interesting also your job in this area, no? Because you are young, you are fresh in terms of mind and culture.
Of ideas.
Your contribution.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is also the reason. This is the last thing. Then we are going to give the microphone to Basil. Why we changed some things, very very small things. We try to make this challenge more dynamic this year. And we try to offer to the students the possibility to try what it means, the real market analysis. So it's not the analysis you're going to make on your desk, because inside the room you don't have facts, you have only assumptions. You make the research, you make fantastic research, but those are assumptions. You have real facts when you get out of the building. He said Steve Blanks, it's not my personal opinion, I stole it, so but he gives me an assist. So when you get out of the buildings and ask your real client, your customer, your patient, even doctors and the hospital, you ask them several questions and try to understand what do they think about this kind of service. This is something that will give you the real feedback of the market. And this is something that we, let's say, integrated inside the challenge. So we made the questions, we made like a guided questions, and we wanted to ask the students who are going to take this challenge to make the survey. We imagine like 50 answers per group. It means 10 interviews or 10 surveys sent by email per person. Those answers are shared, so you will see other groups working, and this is also very interesting because you will see other European countries or even out of the European countries answer and understand how the market is really receiving and thinking about this kind of services. So this is our invitation. We hope to have more people that are going to take the challenge on this challenge.
We need you to change with us the patient journey.
Yes,
to change the processes.
Journey. Yes. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. We have so many questions. I don't even know where to start. So I tried to group them. So first of all, I would like to make a quick comment on that survey. It is very true that it's a very new business model, and nobody really knows how the customers and the doctors would take it. So the survey is critically important, not only because we want to help the company better understand the market, but it would be very hard to answer a challenge or work on a challenge like this before you talk to at least 1 or 2 doctors, maybe 3 or 4 patients, and get their sense. Are they open to the idea of using teledoctors? Why or why not? What kind of thinking goes through their head? And so I think that will definitely help you write better answers to that challenge. So one question that we keep getting is the revenue model. So students are still a little confused as to who pays for what. Do doctors pay you when they join your network? Do patients pay you when they use the doctors, or both?
So in a B2C model, patients pay the doctors and Ultraspecialisti. So we are revenue split. While in B2B, obviously the pharma or the hospital or the other part, insurance, they pay instead of the patients for the patient consultation. But not only for the patient consultation, they, as the platform may be used also for education, they may pay for using the platform for education.
It's like a learning platform. Vanessa explained, and she just touched this point. This is a specific revenue stream which is connected to the real case study that young doctors can discuss with the help of the mentored of the experts. So all these things is happening on the platform.
In a separate area. There is area for B2C, so B2C dedicated for the patients, where patients and specialists are connecting, and in that case, patients pay for the consultation to the doctor and the platform for using the platform. While in other conditions, when we have special projects for B2B, for example, in this case, we are paid from the partner.
Business. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Now, there are many questions about selection of doctors. First, can any doctor join your network and become basically an Ultraspecialisti doctor? Is it limited by geography? Do you have some sort of tests? Do they need to submit their diplomas? So there are like 10 different ways students ask that question. So how do you select the doctors?
So first of all, we have to check the documentation that they are doctors, that they are specialists. Second, we have to check for how long they are working. We asked at least 10 years of experience. Then we search for the publication. So if they are publishing in the specialty for which they are giving the consultations, so that means that if they have published for in 100 papers, but only 3 on kidney injury, we are not going to select him for the kidney pathology. But for those pathologies for which he is publishing more, then we are also seeing if this doctor has been asked to talk in a national and international congresses. That means that is nationally and internationally recognized. We are following the certification of attendance in this meeting and in which role this person has been involved. Moreover, the plus is if the person is also being part of clinical trials, because this accelerates access to the new therapies. But we check all these documents. Every doctor may offer his position. We have a board, a scientific board, that is going to select and check if what we have explained as the requirements are exactly there. And moreover, also abroad doctors are welcome.
Yeah, this is very impressive. I didn't realize you had such a rigorous selection system. Very impressive. Yeah. And then abroad, you said, what countries can the doctors apply from?
Sorry, you didn't heard?
You said doctors from other countries can also apply. So do you have a limit on specific areas, or anyone can apply from anywhere?
Anyone can apply from anywhere, but they have to be requirements, and the skills have to be proven. Mm-hmm. Everybody is welcome. This is one of our mission is to engage even more doctors from other countries. So to promote the quality, idea of the quality of global health quality. And we want to offer opportunity to the patients abroad to consult Italian doctors, but also we want other doctors from other parts of the countries to be part of our doctors community, and also other patients to use the doctor they think it's more appropriate for this case.
Mm-hmm. Are doctors being rated by the customers? So when they provide the service, do they get a rating on the app?
Still not, but we are planning to have a new release of the platform. Now we are on the release number 2, so we are planning other 2 releases in which we are going to add some other functions, and we want to add also the opinion of the patients. First of all, we would like to do it only for us. It's not going to be visible outside, because as a test, because we want to see how it is functioning, and explore why their comments are in some different ways. And the next step is going to be after we realize which are the questions we have to put. We want to test the questions, and after the testing the questions, we are going to give it visible.
And so we understand that currently the focus is on diagnostics, but are your doctors also allowed to make prescriptions, like prescribe drugs?
Yes, also prescriptions. They can do diagnostic and prescriptions.
Also insert in the trial. They can also, after the consultation, they can also plan the surgical intervention. For example, this is going to be obviously done in the hospital the doctor works.
Yeah. Do you have data? So we have 20 questions about the price. How much cheaper is it to see a teledoctor than to go to a regular doctor? I understand that there is a big difference in time. My son, by the way, yesterday cut his hand and we had to take him to an emergency. It was literally half a day. And in the end, it wasn't that bad anyway. So, I mean, I wish I could see a teledoctor to know that it's not such a bad injury. But in terms of the price, so for our emergency, we paid about $600 yesterday. How much would it cost if I wanted to get that diagnosis using your doctor? How much cheaper would it be in your country?
So in this case, what would happen is that you are going to go on the Ultraspecialisti website. You will send the history, what happens. Also, you can have a video. You can just film you and film your son, and obviously it's in a protected area, and ask the doctor what should you do. and the doctor will tell you if it is serious, how much it is serious, what you have, and this is it costs 240 euros.
That's actually much better. Now the patients. So can people from any country use your network? For example, let's say if I wanted to use Ultraspecialisti out of the United States, can I do that, or is it only for Italians?
Of course.
Yeah, at the moment we have in English, and the platform is translating. It is in English and it is in Italian. Even the information hub, it's in English. There is a info point, which is actually the hub where we published some interesting articles considering different areas, published directly from the experts. So the experts present on the website, on the platform.
We have also treated one patient that came from Eastern country. He was, they suggested him to do demolitive surgery, while our ultra specialist suggested chemo plus radiotherapy, and the patient came in Italy and did chemo plus radiotherapy, and he's completely free of disease and with normal function of the pharynx. So he didn't lost the voice,
which would happen if
with the surgery.
If he had,
exactly.
Yes.
So if there is a substantial difference in the treatment, then obviously the patient may move and receive the therapy in the hospital or where the doctor is practicing.
What are your biggest challenges to your growth at this time? So several people ask about legal obstacles. Others ask, is it just simply customers not knowing that there is an option? So what are your biggest challenges to scaling up and entering new markets?
So first of all, is to create a trust and brand, and to help people to cross the cultural barrier of using telemedicine. So what we are doing this with educational sites. And also we need time, because the trust also needs time. So we are operating this is the 3rd year, and until now we didn't have any trouble, but we are online, and you know what does it mean. So the trust is also needs time. From other parties needs strategies. And this
yes, it's also regarding the channel, no? How you can reach the customer. And this is a health service, so we try some marketing activities, but with no good results. You cannot be aggressive. You do not sell needles or pens. You are selling a services, high quality service. So you have to go very carefully. And we are still searching for the right channel. So we are trying to build the right trust. From legal point of view, we didn't have any problems. We are perfectly GDPR compliant. We are monitoring other competitors which are approaching telemedicine, and we are noticing that they are
copying us.
They are copying us in everything.
Well, that's the best form of flattery.
Yes, it's a good news, because the market is growing and the demand. But the thing is that they are not perceiving this urgency to be compliant with GDPR or the data protection, or so we decide actually to get the partnership with the software house, which is which can give us the guarantee that those data are managed well. So what is the channel where those data are passing through? And we know that in 48 days you have to destroy it, and all those things, we are very careful about it.
But also how to grow is not only trust, it's also increasing the number of the specialists, and also to promote their digital reputation. What we have realized is that it's not Ultraspecialisti that has to only to have trust, but also doctors have to have trust. So they have to talk, they have to let them know, they have to become digital personalities. Because for the moment, doctors are only those who you don't see digitally. But they have to talk, they have to say what they are, what they have to show, they have to prove that they are really experts.
Right.
And in fact, for the area of lung cancer and head and neck, where we were, where we have performed, we have realized that the websites, dedicated website where these doctors may introduce themselves, talk about themselves, talk to the patients, in that areas we have greater success.
Right, right.
So I think the digital world has digital rules, digital a way of marketing which are still underexplored, especially in health.
Yeah, that's true. One last question. So we keep getting more questions, but one is very interesting. What if the diagnosis requires some physical samples like blood tests or maybe some other tests? So how does it work? So does the client take it to a local hospital and then sends the results, or what?
Exactly. When the doctors receive the documentation of the patient, we may ask the integration of the documentation. Like there is then there is a you need, for example, CT scan, or you need blood exam, or you need something else. Then you ask the patient, and patient then will the consultation stops. Patients go to the general practitioners. The general practitioner prescribe this examination, that they do the examination, and then submit it once again. And the consultation is finished after the doctor received all the documentations.
Right. Yeah.
So you can ask the integration. Moreover, if the patient select one doctor and the doctor realizes he is not a proper person for this case, this doctor may ask through the platform the patient's authorization to forward his case to another more specialized doctors.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is a fascinating business. I currently live in a country that is great in many respects, but healthcare here definitely is way too expensive and sometimes not very good. So I really cannot wait until the day when it would be possible to also have teledoctors. Hopefully it will be more efficient, less expensive, and possibly even more accurate. So let's see how it develops. Thank you so much. We went a little over time. Sorry, we took more of your time, but just had so many questions. And yeah, let's see what the students come up with. I hope with their help, you will be able to grow your market share. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lazar. Thank you very much also to your support.